Okay.
How do you turn on the video?
You should see mute and stop video, start video. The bottom is usually on the bottom left. You should see where you mute, not mute, and then, or is your camera turned off? Sometimes there's a button with a camera on the computer itself. All right, I got a question. Hold on. Oh, hey, Danny. Okay. Right now, while we're doing this, anybody have just random questions while we get this taken care of? And throughout, I like people to participate, ask questions. I think we just get more out of it. But super excited. So Marissa, if y'all need to text me or need help or text Mike, let me know. So what we'll do is we'll start with Miss Heather. All right, just a little background. Marissa started this spring getting her license. I met her through my sister. She was interested in what I was doing. She knew I was a hygienist, and one quick phone call shared the opportunity, and she was interested, got her license, and she works at a dental office. And with her energy and her motivation, Haylee and Heather work with her, and they were just thinking, what are you doing? Like, what are you starting? What are you studying for? So when they saw her excitement, they jumped on it. Marissa went to the View this summer and came back with full fire. And then she joined us at family reunion with Haylee and Heather. And that's just amazing because she saw the opportunity. She was excited. They saw that through her. They saw her getting her license quick, making money on the side. And with no hesitation, she jumped. And Haylee and Heather were right behind her. Heather, I'm going to introduce her. She is a dear friend of mine now that I'm so thankful for. A hygienist as well. I don't know what there is about hygiene and dental world. I think we're just type A personalities, go getter. And we just want to see what's our next level. And that's what these girls are doing. So Heather got her license really fast and has been killing it on part-time. I remember one Saturday, I mean, here we are. I think it was what, 4 policies you submitted in one Saturday, a Saturday. And that's part-time. And who knows, when it's ready, it doesn't matter if she stays part-time forever or she wants to jump the ship. That's what I love about this opportunity. You make it what you want. You stay as busy as you want. You're as flexible as you want. You work from wherever you want, home and home, from home, in home. And that's what we're trying with all of us is just a little bit of everything to see, what we enjoy both. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Heather. Introduce yourself, kind of little background, and then what got you fired up when you saw Marissa and Haylee getting their license? I think you're still on mute.
All right, I'm Heather. I'm very nervous about this.
Don't
so I am a hygienist. I've been a hygienist for about 8 years now, in the dental field for 16, 17 years. I was just looking for something different to keep me busy. I work Monday through Friday, or Monday through Thursday, and then Fridays I'm off. So I was trying to just keep myself busy. I started the course in May. Marissa, she was just, it looked like she was doing good and having fun, and I wanted to get in on that too. So I was like, Marissa, sign me up. And so she did. And I was like, what did I get myself into? I got to study for this test. And so my kids were gone away for a week. I studied and I told her, I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to pass, but I'm going to go take this test. And so I went and took the test and I passed it and called my husband. I said, well, I guess we're selling insurance. And then we went on vacation. It does take a little while to get the insurance, like part of it, get you signed up for contracts. But other than that, then been on our way ever since.
So when you went to the event, when you went to family reunion, what did that do for you for when you first saw Marissa getting your license, the excitement opportunity, then you got your license, and then now you're at the event. What tell us a little about that and kind of what opened your eyes to now more of the opportunity of what this business holds for you.
So the people at the event, hearing their stories, people just like me, not, and I mean, you know, people that are multimillionaires, people that are just starting, people that don't speak English. And that's what, I mean, a lot of my clients are, but I mean, they're making killer money. And like, well, I want to help these people and I want to make money. So yeah. Yeah.
So when you went to the event, was there a different vibe that you could feel? Because I'll never forget somebody knew that like literally just was given the opportunity, was on stage and just found out about it. I think like the day before, and he was saying, well, I think it was Terry or somebody was like hyping up the event. And it's just, I feel like, is it easier to feel the vibe more than to describe how the event feels? Because of like the fun, the family, the support. How to explain that? Because I feel that this is a business that you don't understand the major support from the West Coast to the East Coast until you really are around these people and hearing everybody's testimonies.
Yeah. I think everyone's the same. Like, no one's looking down on you for making this amount of money. No one's like looking down on you for making that. Like, it's all just, a good vibe being there.
Mm-hmm. Good. And are you excited? Are you bringing anybody to boot camp?
I don't know. I have a friend who just took her test and passed it. I think she's on, Heather. Her name's Heather too, and
Go
she's
Heather.
a hygienist. But
Another
I think
Heather
it's
and another
her,
hygienist.
it's her fall break too, so I don't believe that she's going to be coming.
There we go. And then, are you excited about boot camp?
I am. Yep. We're already got our place and ready to go.
Good. So, quick little scenario before we move on to Marissa and Haylee too is, what's your part-time look like? Like, so when you run appointments with your full schedule as a hygienist and being a mom, what does that look like for you? And how does that help kind of fit your flexibility for being part-time?
So I try not to do too much when the kids are around. They get a little upset when I'm on the phone. But Wednesdays they go to church. So I do the dials on Wednesday for Thursday and Friday. Fridays I get off or Thursdays I get off at 3. So I've been trying to go a little bit Thursday afternoon, like around 3 to 7. I usually go. And then Fridays, I'm off. So I'll do my appointments then. So Thursday and Friday.
And then if anything kind of falls on a random Saturday, then you'll do a Saturday.
Yeah. If my husband is off, then I'll or he's working, then I'll go and work a Saturday.
Okay. And then you're doing direct mail only, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what are some tips real quick of getting your license fast, motivation, staying in, focus with contracting, and then doing the direct mail that you've learned and what you see that's been best for you to just soar so fast as you have?
Really just keeping like, I don't know, having that area and really mapping out where you're going to go so you can make the most of your time with the direct mail.
Okay. And then with your license, did you say, okay, I have this time and this time, I'm going to knock it out. I'm going to go ahead and schedule. You just didn't think, you just went through it.
Yeah. Whenever I was studying, all I really did was listen to the videos. I did a lot of the reading too, but I think at first I was overthinking it. I think I overthink a lot. But at first I was overthinking it. So then I decided I'm just going to watch these videos and listen to them on the way to work. Well, then the kids were out of town one week. So I studied all week after I got off work. So it wasn't like I was studying all day. And then I told Marissa, I was like, I don't think I could study anymore. Like, I need to take this test. and I don't know if I'm going to
Yes.
pass it, but that's it. And so it is a lot easier than what, like, just don't
We
think
think
about
it
it.
is.
Just do it.
Yeah. No, I definitely recommend when you sign up, give yourself 2 weeks the most. I mean, honestly, a week,
Yeah.
because the time you get your license, you're waiting, maybe another 2 weeks, get them in the mail, get contracted, and you're ready to roll. So my next question is are you wanting to try to do virtual? Are you liking in home? Do you think starting in home is the best thing that's helped you build your confidence, calling in home? What does that look like for you when you're working with your upline?
Yeah. So definitely working with the upline's the best thing. Like, you have to. But I was talking to Marissa today about possibly maybe doing something a little different, not all the time, but just to kind of do something different and doing virtual. Now I do like going in home because it's easier, which I don't really have the experience of the virtual yet, but I would say just having the opportunity to call your upline whenever you need them.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that's giving you more confidence of using your resources, knowing and learning in home? And we always say call no matter what. And that's what Heather's good about, is no matter what objection, no matter what they say, she's calling. And that helps if she feels stuck, or we can help overcome an objection on the phone. I learned that with Mike, instead of just thinking, oh, well, they told me they have something and then just walk out. She's using every resource. And that's what we're here for, is let's make the most of everything. And Mike will always say, pick up a paycheck or pick up the phone to pick up the paycheck. And there are some things we just can't do, but the most important thing is we know we're doing right for the client. We can get referrals, and we're making the most of every appointment. Any last tip? And I know we'll touch back at the end, that when you get your license, first thing to do, I mean, do you think engaging in upline, like we do, we meet for coffee, we're trying to stay engaged, we talk weekly, that you don't feel pressure on your upline, you feel more support than pressure, correct?
Yeah. Yes, no, 100%. Like, stay in contact with them and talk to them. As much as you don't think you need it, you need it.
Yes. And we're not going to be calling you because we're not here to micromanage, but we're here to support you when you need us. And you can call us 10 times a day, because Lord bless Rachel and Mike, at the very beginning, all day, every day. So it's just part of it. Marissa, Haylee, are y'all up and going? If not, we can just do voice. Or did they jump off? What's happened? Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Is Haylee still with you?
Yeah, she is. I don't know what's going on with the video.
Okay, well, at least we can hear you. So, all right, Marissa, you're the one who has been rocking it since day one as far as building your team with Haylee and Heather. And she has been in, what is that? You've been full time since, God, y'all, June, July?
I have been full time since the last week of June.
Okay. And she is so close. I'm talking like on the fence to get her agency manager ring. That close, y'all. I've been at a year and a half, and I got mine within a full year. That's where when you start, you tell everybody about the opportunity. Just because you don't know what you're doing, but you have that excitement in the fire. And when she came back from the view, it really showed how pumped she was. And these girls were like, okay, I want to get on this train. And that short amount of time to get your agency manager ring is huge. I mean, that's just amazing. Oh, what was that?
So sorry. Obviously, I don't know.
God, y'all, I swear, if we can do this barely doing Zoom call, I promise you that anybody can sell insurance. So, all right, Marissa, I'm going to let you start, introduce yourself, kind of like what got you started when you saw me through my sister, and then, what got you fired up to let Haylee Heather know, and then she brought them to family reunion. So I'll turn it over to you, Miss Marissa.
Yeah, so I was in the dental field for 10 years. I was a dental assistant for 1 year, about 2 years. And then I started doing like treatment plan scheduling. And just kind of got burnout. I was friends with Lauren, your sister, Aaron's sister. And
Mhm.
I was like, oh my gosh, Erin is a hygienist and she just quit her job. Like, that's insane. Um, so I messaged Lauren and I was like, what is she doing? What's going on? And so she got me with Erin and, spoke with Erin for a little bit. And, yeah, I'm not, that's
You
kind
just
of,
jumped in it. So when you got your license, which you knocked it out fast, and then she immediately, I told Marissa, I said, I've got a ticket to the View. I want you to come. When you came to the View, you were getting signed up to get your license. What got you more fired up when you went to your first event, which is the View this summer?
so the view, that was amazing. I actually failed my test 2 days before I was supposed to go to the view. Um, so I was just like, oh my God, why am I going to this place? Like, I can't even pass the test. Like, what am I doing? Um, I ended up going there and I feel like that was amazing. Like the past one we went to was good, but the view was like, I don't know, it was like motivating. Um, I spoke
More on
with,
a mental day-to-day mental growth that
yeah,
like how Marcus said it, just what he says and how he puts life in general in perspective of a
mhm,
new chapter, objection, or just like when you didn't get your test first time and you're thinking, what am I doing? It just showed you the view through Marcus said of how to overcome that and how to have that mental strength. So when you went back, is that kind of what you felt?
yeah, yeah, like it was just life changing. I feel like I spoke with 3 people after the event at Andy's little party. Not little, it was
Oh,
big.
his birthday party. Yeah.
Yeah. But I spoke with 3 people. Actually, it was 2. Um, it was Earl, and Janet. So Earl was
Mhm.
talking to me about how he was at his job before. I guess it was like an insurance job before, and his commission was not that great. And then he came here and it was just life changing. And he told me that's big check that he got. And I was like, oh man, like that's pretty awesome. And then I spoke with Janet and she was like I just started and I scheduled 2 appointments and I don't really want to go, or she didn't want to go, and I was like, oh my God, like but coming out of the view, passing my test, I kind of see where she was coming from. Also Mia, um, like that, I that touched me. Like I love her story. Um, and just being in it for a couple months now, um I see where she's coming from, and every time I feel like oh my gosh, what am I doing? I just think back on Mia and her story and like I can do this. But yeah, those
Yeah.
are the 3 people that really stood out to me when I went to the view too.
And isn't it amazing when you're talking to these people, you have no clue, where they live and how long they've really been in it until you really start talking what they're making. But it's just a good vibe of people get excited to meet people. People get excited when, Marissa, when they're meeting you and you're new, they just want to take and love on you and just like, yes, let's do this. They're so fired up for you. And I'm so glad that's what you felt, because I still feel it in every event. It's a recharge. So my question to you is, when you went from the view and started out and then you go to family reunion, did you feel like that was just a good recharge or reset? Because when you get that day-to-day grind, yes, we have a lot of ups, yes, we have downs in life. That's everywhere, things we can't control, but it just puts in perspective, just kind of like when you think of Mia's story of why I'm doing this, because no, I don't want to go back full time. Does that help? And that's kind of like right now we're on the end of this little stretch and about to go to boot camp. And do you feel like that's just going to give you another boost of energy to, you know, kill it and rock it before the end of the year?
Yes, I definitely do. I feel like I need little things in between too, because like I said, this is kind of like a roller coaster. Um, but that's where I feel like our, our little group text that we have, um, I feel like that kind of motivates me all the time. Or like Heather and Haylee, like they almost started around the same time that I did. So it's kind of like, they kind of know what I'm going through right now. And, y'all do too, but um they're just kind of going through the same thing that I'm going through like right now, so it's like
So
it
you feel
helps.
like you're not in alone, because when I was going through it, I went through it by myself where everybody's been in it 2 years plus. So yes, I can hear them say everything, but when you see people go through exactly what you're doing at the same time, it's like, okay, I know it's real. I know it's happening. It happens to everybody. And that's where I try to be raw and real to y'all. We have our ups, we have our downs. Mike is so good about saying, let's stay level, because this opportunity, when we look at the big picture, where the devil wants to like show us like stay focused on the every little negative, can't find that anywhere. And helping the people is amazing. And I mean, when you're in with the homes and when you're helping, is that more motivating when you get past the crazy ones, when you're like, there are people that I can help, and it's just more touching and saying, okay, this is why I do what I do.
Yes, definitely. There's there's a wild story.
Crazy stories.
No, yeah, no, I mean, you have some bad people, but then you also have the good people that it's like, oh my gosh, let me get back out there and find more of those good people.
Yes.
But also I kind of like the craziness too, because I don't know, it's like stories to tell. Like it's just
And
something
it pushes you to be
to.
stronger and overcome that circle of you can only do what you can control. And like right now with when you're traveling, so tell us a little, Marissa, that because you're going back and forth, you're in home killing it, virtual, I swear you're killing it. I'm learning from you. Speak a little bit about when you started in home and then the transition to virtual, just so people can understand of the importance where, okay, I want to work from home, I want to be virtual, but to gain that confidence to get to where, okay, I can transition to virtual, where I mean, you were working on the way to the beach, you were working at the beach. Explain that journey from starting in home to back and forth virtual.
Lord have mercy. Okay, number one, I'm not a talkative person. I'm not an outgoing person. I will not start a conversation. I am very shy. I'm scared to go in a grocery store by myself.
Okay, y'all, do you hear this? And Marissa is about to be agency manager. Do y'all hear that? Please do not get in your head and be inspired to think about this. Okay, keep going.
Um, I just remember like the first time I was doing dials. Um, I did my first dial session and I went to my husband and I was like, I cannot do this. Like I was shaking. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I can't deal with all these objections. Like they're like, no, thank you. And so I'm just like, okay, great. Bye. Have a nice day. But it's, I guess it just takes time.
Mhm.
To do it, and just going in homes, calling you guys, y'all help a lot. It's crazy how you don't have to know anything and just call you guys and you guys would help. But
The
no,
system, and I'm sorry to interrupt. So when you plugged into the system, you literally said it, Marissa, where you don't have to know anything. Mike, when he told me to dial, I dialed. I'm like, what am I doing? Jonathan said, why are you dialing at 7 o'clock at night? I don't know. Mike told me. When you plug into the system, just like Marissa did, Haylee and Heather, and you literally just do what the system says, it just shows you. And she stayed active, like the objections, that's all normal. Like virtual, when I started, I'm having to learn those objections because that's different than in home. So when you stay more active with it, Marissa, you were able to overcome the objections faster. You were able to learn faster. Now it's like, all right, dial session, let's knock it out. I'm done. Yeah, you still have objections, but you come past that fear. And then when you go in home, what does the system say? Call in home, call your upline. And that's literally what you've done, right, Marissa? Like you keep calling, you keep dialing, door knock if no show. So speak a little bit about that activity of how you just keep staying active through all of that at the beginning of when it was more rough.
Yeah, I mean, I just, just kept going.
What motivated you to keep going? I guess I should say, because it's easy. I've seen people just nope. I mean, one day of dialing, like no. I mean, that's the test is the easy part. It's just get over the dials. What made you stay motivated? Was it just thinking back of Mia and the event? Did that help click?
I think I think that I just quit my job and I made I made really good money at the dentist office. And we were building a house at the moment, and I was just like, oh my God, like I just quit my job. Like I have to make some money. Like I got to do something. Like I just have to keep pushing.
Okay.
And I just kept telling myself, like, these people aren't going to come through the phone. They're not going to punch you. Like, you're fine. It's just talking. Like, you're okay.
And aren't the ones that are the meanest on the phone trying to bake you a cake before you leave their house, literally?
Yes. So my very first appointment, it was I think it was one of your old leads. You were gonna come with me, but your son got sick. He had
Yes,
strep
Walker's
throat.
sick. Yep.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, like what am I going to do? What am I gonna say? But this lady actually yelled at me on the phone, and she was like, why do you people keep calling me? Um, and then I go there and she's like the nicest person ever. Um, so she actually got a policy with Mutual of Omaha, but it's just wild, like talking to the crazy people on the phone, and then you get to their house and they're like, very.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your tips about, okay, so you've got the dial, overcome the objections, speak with your upline. When you're in the home, what's two big things that if you could tell somebody to take from tonight of when they're first making their appointments, getting home to prep for, and then when you get there, what's the two big things that you think is the most important?
I think going to your appointment, I like to like listen to something not great, like not screamo music, because I feel like that makes you like a little crazy. Um, but like I tried doing like Mel Robbins podcast or something soft.
Yeah, no, and positive because it's all a mood. Yeah.
Um, and then like I think the first few appointments I was like rehearsing what I was gonna say. Um, and I feel like that's like I shouldn't have done that because I'm thinking of things like, oh, I should have said that like, in my script or whatever, but like not overthinking it, I guess. And just kind of make them feel like their family or their friends, not just,
There
another
for a sale.
client. Yeah.
No, and that's huge, Marissa, because you're focusing on the task. Like you're there, they filled out a form, how can I help them? And when you focus on them as a family and friend, you build that rapport, which you're great at, and then you're able to build the why from there because you're truly genuinely there to make a connection and then see what is their problem and how to solve it.
Yeah.
So the transition from in-home, do you feel it is very vital and important to do in-home a good bit before you go virtual? Do you feel that's helped
Oh,
transition into virtual?
yes. I feel like it does help a lot. I'm not, I feel like it takes me a long time to go through the insurance toolkit and like all that stuff that you guys go to. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess whenever I'm doing virtual, it's kind of the same thing as being in home. Like you just kind of get to know them. Um, and, as I'm talking to them on the phone, like I'm texting you or Mike or, Rachel. Um, and then, yeah.
So with it, like, so I guess what I want to make sure, guys, is no matter in home or on virtual, the resources of the toolkit, the underwriting grid, your upline, the medical questions, understanding build the why, all part of the system. That's what these girls are doing is everything that's on our agent portal on Legacy Life. I cannot stress enough of those are all your answers. And we're here to be your backbone because when you have those resources to look at, then things start clicking. But we're here to confirm of, yep, that is the option. Like, I mean, the other day she texted thinking Royal Neighbors and Rachel and I confirmed that's what we think too. And I still second guess sometimes and I'm like, oh, how do I rewrite this person? Talking through it, you don't have to just learn it, know it, and then we're done. It's a constant communication. Um, so real quick before we go to Haylee, Marissa, what does your schedule look like since you're full time? Like, and not that what I love about it, there's no right or wrong schedule. Mine's completely different from them. And that's what I love is what works for you is what's working for you is just what do you use like direct mail, virtual leads, bang, bang leads? When do you dial? Just kind of a tip of how you're killing it with as many policies as you're writing is so fast and the motivation of your recruiting.
So I've been doing direct mail. I've done bang bang leads and then, the virtual as well, but it's mostly just direct mail and then any C&D leads. I think the C&D leads, well, yeah, it's mostly just direct mail.
Okay.
But I tried the bang bang leads like this week. But I guess I love the direct mail. I just like being in front of people. I feel like it's more
Personal.
yeah. And then as far as my schedule, I do Monday through Thursday. Mondays I try to dial and I feel like that doesn't take that long. So I feel like I'm done about 1 o'clock. I still feel like
Okay, when you dial, I want to make sure because when you don't feel like it takes long, when you're dialing, are you nonstop to fill up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in home? Is that how it works? Or
yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
okay. So you don't
Sometimes
stop dialing until those days are maxed out to what you can be, correct?
right. Yeah. I mean,
All right, guys. So, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but with her being so new and how scared she was at the beginning about dialing, she's done by noon. This is freaking amazing. So I think the faster you stumble and fall is the faster you're going to soar. And that's literally what she said. So just pick up the phone and just go at it. Pick up the phone and go at it, no matter what the objection is. And with her going Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, being done at 12, does that give you the afternoon? Are you taking off, or is that kind of where you lead straight into virtual leads that day? And then if you have no shows, that's where you pick up virtual throughout the week?
yes. So when I'm done, then usually I try to do some virtuals. Not very long, but I just tried to do it. I try to work till about 3 or 4 on Mondays. Um, and then any downtime that I have on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like if I have downtime, I'll do door knocks or, like in between appointments. Or like
So you're making sure you're using ample time of whatever your window, if you're from 9 to 4 in the field, no matter what your day consists of, a no-show or you couldn't fill an appointment, you're staying active, door knocking or calling.
Yes. Yeah.
So with that just shows you've got more opportunity to soar because you're just staying beyond active with whatever you can. That's amazing.
Yeah. And honestly, there's been some days where I have worked, 7, 8 o'clock, but that's very rare. I probably end my days about 4 or 5.
And that's amazing because you've got your son, you've got your life, you make it what you want.
Yeah. So I just like the fact that it's a flexible schedule. That's really kind of why I got into this.
Mhm.
And
then are you bringing anybody to boot camp? Are you excited to boot camp? Any tips of if somebody doesn't have their ticket and they just got their license, what it means to go to their first event?
Oh, say that again. You were breaking up a little bit. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm sorry. So your tip, if somebody just got their license or just got started, they haven't been to an event, what is your motivation of why they need to get a ticket ASAP and not miss out on this?
It's just good opportunities. Those events are life-changing. You meet new people and there's different stories. There's good, bad stories that you'll hear, and it's just motivating. It's just something
It's real.
go to. Yeah.
Yeah. And without those events, do you think you would be as successful as you are right now between getting your license to now?
No.
Okay. And it's funny. It's funny because I'm a very expressive person, but when it comes to the event, I don't know how to explain it in words because it's what I feel from it. It's just a burst of energy, excitement, truly just, like you're saying, the opportunity of it's a lot of times, okay, let me do last thing and I'll go to Haylee is your first event when you thought about going, what did you think it was like truly? And then compare it to what it really was. Because it's hard to explain, like, okay, I'm going to this insurance event. All right. They say it's fun. What did you think of it that it would be like? And then what was it really like in reality?
Okay. Yeah. So I thought it was going to kind of be, I went by myself. And like I said, I don't do anything by myself. Like either my husband's with me, I have somebody with me. I drove to North Carolina all by myself. And I
We
thought,
met Tiffany. It was
yes,
her first event
we had
from
a little
West Georgia too. Go
we had
Tiff.
one date. Yeah, so I just kind of thought I was going to be to myself. I wasn't going to talk to anybody. I was going to be like that little loner girl. But everybody was
Did you
so,
think it was just going to be like a conference where we were just sitting there literally learning about insurance?
yes. Yeah, I thought it was going to be really boring. And
Just a true basic
yes.
conference room. Okay.
But everybody is so welcoming. Like everybody talks to everybody. There's no cliques or anything like that. And also the event itself is it was awesome.
Powerful.
And like all 3 days, like they're, all day on Saturday, all day on Sunday. Like it's awesome.
Mhm. That's good. Well, So with getting in a ticket, I mean, getting your license just now or just passing or not even getting your license, 0 to 10, go to the event or not for boot camp?
10, 10, 10, 10.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
All
for sure.
right. Miss Haylee, is she there?
She's here.
Yes.
I
Hey,
hate
Miss Haylee. Okay.
cameras
So
over.
Miss Haylee is a dental assistant. She started fast, just like Heather and Marissa, and she jumped full time. I swear, Marissa got her license, and Haylee got her license, and then all of a sudden, here's Haylee getting her license, and then next thing I know, Marissa jumps full time, Heather's part time, Haylee jumps full time, and I'm thinking, what in the world? I mean, like they're just go. So the fire that they had, Haylee, introduce yourself, kind of just share your story of what made you jump so quick getting your license and jumping full time, and then coming to family reunion.
So I'm Haley. I did not want to do dental anymore. And I actually didn't know that Marissa was, because we worked together, but she was in the front, I was in the back. So I really didn't know she was doing any of this. And I just called her one day and I was like, look, I'm just done. I can't do this the rest of my life. And she was like, well, I'm actually doing insurance. And I was like, oh, okay. So she was like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. And she's like, I'll be leaving in a few weeks and going full time. And I'm like, okay, well, that's saying a lot because she's not the one to quit her job and, just jump in. But so I was like, okay. So she was telling me about it. And I was just like, I just wanted a flexible schedule. I was told, that I could take my vacation only on this 1 week this year. And I'm like, I don't even call in sick. And you're telling me when I can take my 4 days of vacation. Like, I was just over it. So she got me in touch with Benet. I got signed up. I studied for about 2 weeks and I took the test and failed the first time with a 67. That's just enough to make you mad. So then I had to wait 2 weeks to take it again. So I went and took it, passed it. That was on June, like the beginning of June. So I had put my notice in. I worked 6 weeks notice. I did part-time just on Fridays those days because I worked later, Monday through Thursday. So August 1st was actually my first day full-time. So about 6 weeks now. But
So that was right before family reunion. So holy cow, full time, went to family reunion.
Yeah. So literally I quit my job on a Thursday. I left Thursday night and went to family reunion and I was like, okay, either I'm in it or I'm not. So of course Marissa and Heather were there. We stayed with Aaron, like everybody was there and I had never met I'd met Mike, I think one time. I'd met Aaron, I think one time. And so I was like, okay, I really know nobody here. So I didn't really talk to anybody. People talked to me. So of course I talked back, but like I didn't know anybody. So it was a lot going on in the best way. It was, I think this time I'll prepare myself better because I really thought it was just going to be like pen and paper, like write this down, just something kind of boring. But yeah, so I was not expecting what it was. But it definitely just going from quitting your job one day and then the next day you have people in front of you telling you, they've been doing it 8 months and they've made X amount of dollars and, just it really, or telling, I work 2 days a week and I can do whatever else I want and still pay bills. And, so I was just like, okay, this is, I guess, something that I could look into. So I got back because I was actually the Friday before that, I had like 6 appointments. Nobody was there. One woman called like 4 times to confirm her appointment. And I was like, yeah, I'm coming. And then I get there and she's not there. So it was just like, what am I about to do? I'm quitting my job in 4 days. So then I went to the event and I got back and I was like, okay, it'll work out. It just takes time.
And trust the process, Grace. So what are your recommendations? Kind of like what I asked about Heather and Marissa. what gave you confidence of plugging into the system and making your dials and calling from the in-home? Like, what's your recommendation on that?
Like, what do I do for that?
Yeah, what gave you confidence of overcoming like that first day with appointments, coming back from the event, and then just pushing through the objections with the dials, and then once you get your appointments, your recommendations of, all right, I've got my schedule, what do I do next? Like calling your upline, what resources you use, what helps you have day in and day out confidence of your schedule?
Well, so my first dialing session, I literally bought, I don't know how many leads, but Mike was like, call these people. And I'm like, it's 7:30 at night. And he's like, I don't care. And I was like, okay. So I called them, and I think it was beginner's luck because I can't even do this now, but I literally called like 14 people and made 9 appointments for the first day, or for the
That's
first.
huge.
And I was like, oh, this is easy. And so the first day that I went out, I actually rode with Mike. And so at this point, I have confidence because I called and it was just so easy to get these people on the books, right? Well, then I get met up with Mike, and I get in the car and he's like, hey, these first few you're gonna have to do by yourself, and I may jump in for the last one. And I was like, excuse me? I'm texting my husband, I'm like, oh my God, he just threw me out here. I have no idea. I mean, I've never knocked on a door before. Like, I don't even knock on people's door not doing insurance. So I was like, okay. But so I think him just throwing me out there literally gave me, I mean, I just had to do it. Like, there was no other way. I've already made the appointment. I was already, he drove me there, dropped me off. So I was like, okay, I have to do it now. But like when I'm in the home, I mean, I have like 5 people I can call off the top of my head that like I know is going to answer. If not, they'll call me back in 2 seconds. So I really, I feel like that makes me more confident in the home. Not that I'm always confident, but I know I have somebody to call that'll at least, if I'm stumped, they'll definitely help me, but that'll also be like, all right, good job. You know, like just to
Learn from it, talk through
yeah,
it.
yeah. So, and they don't just tell you what to do. Like, y'all explain things because I have to have things explained to me. Like, I want to know why this is what it is. And, so, and everyone's good about that. So it's just helpful because you got to learn too, because the more you learn, the more confident you can be.
Yep. And the only way to learn is literally make the dials, go to the appointments, get dropped off my. But it's kind of like what all y'all have said is if you just didn't jump into it and stick to the system, y'all would not be soaring. So it's like ripping the band-aid off.
Yeah.
And Mark Hutcherson always says, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that excites me. When I start to get uncomfortable, I know, okay, I'm in a change of a different level of my career of I'm branching out on something else, and I know I'm going to soar because I'm getting uncomfortable. And that's just taking the next step of your ladder to success. Don't y'all agree?
Yeah, I'm always uncomfortable. Yes.
But you're succeeding. So, with being in home and in dials and your schedule, is it just open your eyes, kind of like you just went to the mountains with your husband last week? Would you be able to do that if you were still full time with a dental?
No, I would not be. It's
And then you have the opportunity to work if you wanted to when you're there virtual, or nope, I don't want to work one bit and nobody to answer to.
Yeah, yeah. Even like I find myself now, which is odd because I can't be bored. Like I hate being bored. I have to do something. And now I feel like I don't mind working because I can do it wherever, whenever. Like if I'm on a Saturday, if I've got 2 hours, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, okay, let me just find something to do. So I'll dial or, something that I wouldn't normally do. And just because it doesn't feel, I mean, it's work, obviously, but it's not, it's
You
just
enjoy
easy.
it.
Yeah, and I find myself doing that more often, and I didn't used to do that, but that's because someone was telling me what to do, and now I can, do what I want and make it, what I want out of it.
Well, to wrap things up, I want to open up. Anybody have questions for them? I know a lot of people on here are just getting started. A lot of people are signed up for the test and thinking, what am I doing? Or waiting to get contracted. Any questions for them? Because they are so, so new and soaring faster than I even soared. And I'm so proud of them. So I just want to make sure what questions y'all have, leads or anything, because we just want to make sure what can we do to inspire someone, because we all have our ups and downs. We all need to have contact. I love Benet on our Telegram chat of, motivation, and that's what we're all here for, to reach out. So just waiting another 2 or 3 minutes. If anybody has a question, hold on. Here we go. Why is the next event important for them if they went to one already? That's a great question. So girls, like, y'all have already been, Marissa, you've been to 2, Heather, Haylee, you've been to 1. What's this next one, do you think? Especially Haylee, Heather, trying to make sure I'm keeping y'all straight. Going to boot camp being your second one. What's important for y'all to go to the second one? And then Haylee, forgive me, then Marissa, your third.
I'm just excited because it's going to help, I feel like, motivate me more to keep going and connect with more people. I don't know. Other than that,
I feel like it is obviously fun, but you still learn stuff. So it's not, because you hear other people's stories. So like when they were talking about like, just give us the rundown of, what your day looks like. And they were like doing the skit of like, when you walk in a home, this is what happened. Like that just, I don't know. I like hearing those stories because then it, one, makes you feel like you're not crazy. And 2, it can kind of, if you have that happen to you, then you know how to, go off of that. So I really just like hearing other people's stories because they're all so different, and you just never know what they're going to say, and that could happen to you as soon as you get back. And then, it just kind of lets you see through their eyes too.
So with Heather, Haylee, real quick, so you've been to the first one. Do you think the time difference, like 90 days, it's like, okay, it's been great, but you feel like you need a recharge? Like, okay, I'm excited. I'm going to get pumped up. The people I've met, I get to see them. I made friends with them. I talk to them on a daily basis. They live in different states. Does it just get you more on fire of like, you just have a different connection with this group of, and just again, who else can you hear and what else can you learn of overcome objections or grow in y'all's, your own business?
I feel like before I didn't know anybody's name, I didn't know anybody's face, so I knew nothing. But now I'm putting faces with names, and I think that makes it a lot better. And you can keep in touch with them because not always, I don't talk to everyone that's at the event every day. So it's really nice to just see that person in real life, not just over the telegram or whatever it may be. But
It's more relatable.
Yeah, and at first when Marissa was like, yeah, they have them like every 3 months, and I'm like, geez, that's a lot. But now that I'm in it, I feel like it's just the right amount of time because it's not like it's 3 months, but it's at that point, like I'm at that point now where I'm just like, what am I doing? So it's just, I think it's a good reset. I think it's a good time.
Good. Anything else, Heather, for you?
I don't know. I am so excited about going. I'm ready. Pumped.
And it's just going to be more one-on-one. All right, Marissa. So last thing to end it, it's your third event. You went to the View, you went to family reunion. Now we've got the boot camp. That's a little more going to be tailored classes to learn objections, annuities, retirement. From where you started now, do you feel like you're just going to grow more and expand on how to look at your business, go into this one? Each one's kind of like a stepping stone.
Yes, I do. I noticed that all of them are so different, like totally different. Just kind of curious how this one's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be a little more personable, I guess, like
Mhm.
one-on-one kind of thing, maybe. Like a little smaller, I guess. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about it just because, each one so far has been different.
But you've
And
learned so much that you're glad they're different in the way they're different, because if you seeing those two and now this one be a little more personal, do you think it's just helped build more all around better you instead of just kind of the same thing? And it gets
yeah,
you probably more excited, like, okay, I've learned so much from the view and pumped up. Now the family reunion, what else? Like, what
mhm.
else do I get to learn and how much more can I grow?
Yes, definitely. Like each one teaches you something different every time. Um, like Haley was saying, like, she learned a lot from those people at the last event. Um, I just, I don't know. I learned something from each event and I just take it and I go to my, every appointment with it. Um, but yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, guys, I don't see any other questions. One more minute and then we'll end. And girls, thank y'all. I'm excited. The thing too, I got to announce Haylee, she hit one of the promos. Everybody just shoot for it. It doesn't matter when you start. I know these girls are trying to do all they can to go to Cabo. Never hurts to shoot for the stars because you just never know the next dial, the next door knock. How has it happened to me? How does it happen to them? One of my big leads, I've been a year and a half thinking it's never going to happen to me. And it's a virtual lead. All you do is just ask questions. Like Heather was so excited. I'll leave up with this is the retirement, the green money, like the green sheet. It's so overwhelming because you're learning final expense, but all she did was just ask a question. Like, you're retired. That's all we're doing is asking questions, seeing how can we help them. So just don't be scared to ask questions. It's the simplest thing that we can make it a little more complicated. But ladies, thank y'all so much. Y'all been an inspiration, and guys, have a great week. It's going to be amazing. Last part of September. I cannot wait to see everybody at boot camp. Get your ticket, get an extra. It's an amazing investment for you and giving the opportunity to someone else. So have a great night. Thank y'all.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Hi.
Talk to y'all tomorrow.